Welcome to the highlights of the opening test match in the series between Australia and South Africa. An historic day here at the MCG, the first time Australia and South Africa had met in this country since the 1963-64 summer. I can tell you it was also frustrating because the rain started around about 5:30 a.m. We had downpours right through the afternoon. Eventually, the ground staff and the umpires managed to get play started at 5 o'clock, and they scheduled it to continue through until 7. That was with a minimum of 30 overs. So a great moment with the two teams announced at the toss. The Australians, Mark Taylor, Michael Slater, David Boone, Mark Waugh, Alan Border, Damien Martin in the side for Steve Waugh, Ian Healy, Shane Warne, Paul Rifle, Craig McDermott, Tim May and Glenn McGrath, the 12th man, both spinners playing, Shane Warne and Tim May. The South Africans, Kepler Wessels, the skipper, Andrew Hudson is back up at the top of the order, Hansie Cronje, Daryl Cullinan, Jonty Rhodes and Gary Kirsten's going to bat in the middle of the order. Dave Richardson, Pat Simcox, the off-spinner, Craig Matthews, Fani de Villiers, Alan Donald, the splendid pace bowler, and David Callaghan is 12th man. The toss was won by Alan Border. He decided to bat. He knew there was going to be some sweating under the covers and that there could be a lively session in store for his two men, Mark Taylor and Michael Slater. And we join now with the first ball of the day. Alan Donald is the bowler.
Trying to entice the left-hander to drive. Kepler Wessels has left the area from point around to mid-off empty, so Taylor will be looking to push the ball there. And the idea, of course, is from the bowler's point of view that attempting to drive, he might get one to move away and the catch will go towards the slip cordon. A bit surprised about the third man in defensive position with just 2 hours to go. Big close, big shout there. That must have been very close indeed. Umpire Terry Pruitt at the members' end. Mark Taylor shuffled across.
Yes, we're going to have to watch the bounce here. It just seemed to hold its line. Let's see if we can pick up the line. Watch where it pitches first. Nips back, hits him on the roll. It looked to be very straight. You can see why the bowler got very excited there. Just a little shake of the head.
Runs for Mark Taylor on the fine leg. Just the one.
Just the little jack in the box. Jonty Rhodes out there. Makes a huge difference. Have a look at the strapping on his left hand, protecting that fracture.
Michael Slater on guard. Gone. No, through the slips it goes. He slashed at that. The hand went out from the man at second slip. Alan Donald cannot believe his luck.
Yes, that went fizzing through the slip cordon area. It's half chances like this that if they're taken, can win test matches. Let's see if we can pick this up. Whether or not it went to hand, it went flying away. He certainly had a big drive at it. Up there, one-handed. Couldn't quite pick it up from that angle to see if there was a hand on that one. I think he might have just nicked it.
Some fingers there. It was flying, but it was a wide delivery. They would have seen that all the way. Cullen on its second slip. Well bowled by Donald. Good line.
Well, he definitely played at that one. This is a fantastic start by Donald. He's been looked after by Kepler Wessels. You just watch this delivery just outside off stump. It really is quick. Didn't do anything, but had Slater fending it away there and missing it.
He's 23 years of age. This is his 10th test match. Very good average of 51.78, 200s.
Yes, that's a top average. Anything over 40 is good. He's over 50.
Slater. 2 runs, no wicket for 7.
For the bowler in your picture, Petrus Stephanus de Villiers, Fani de Villiers, Finniger Fani they call him. He's playing in his debut here. 54th first-class match, has 216 wickets in first-class cricket. big man.
Very good average of 21. Shot through the vacant cover region. Outfield to spot the rain reasonably fast. Into run 3. Positive stroke from Mark Taylor, really leaning into that off drive.
Yes, there are always a few gaps out there when you first start the innings, because somebody slips in there with a new ball. That's nicely played by Taylor. Front foot very positively played through the offside, so coming back for the 4th and then changing their minds.
Nicely played, just going on the leg stump. Michael Slater working that ball beautifully. Over for Australia. Straying onto leg stump. The breeze pushing the ball into the right-hander's pads.
So we haven't seen any swing so far. South Africans have been charging in, trying to get a bit of pace out of the... There's a bit of wind out there. They've been generating a bit of pace, see if they can find some movement. So far, nothing much has happened. We've seen a bit of pace, a little bit of bounce.
Oh, Taylor almost back onto the stumps then.
Let's just watch his back foot here. Just slips as he puts his foot down and just manages to stop it in time. Just a little further, if he wasn't balanced, then he could have knocked the bails off, and that would have been the end of that.
No wicket for 13. No wicket for 13. Mark Taylor slipping that final delivery. Maybe some moisture there in the batting crease as Donald comes in from the members' end to Michael Slater.
Although I can remember seeing a picture of Bill Lawry lying on the ground having knocked the bails off, and they didn't give you out, did they? That was against South Africa too, wasn't it?
This ground 30 years ago. That's over the top of Richardson, the wicketkeeper. That'll be byes. Two byes. Donald really fired up here. Mustn't get too short.
So there are his first-class career details. So just 27 years of age. And he's taken 5 wickets in an innings often. His best first-class performance, 8 for 37.
Well bowled. That's quick.
Oh, he had to get his bat out of the way in a hurry there. Just for a split second, he looked as if he might be thinking of cutting it. Just watch him get out of the way very quickly. The gloves were close to the ball. That was well played by Slater too. There's a good battle taking place out there. This is a slightly different angle of that delivery.
Through. No wicket for 17. High play between the crowd and Alan Donald. It's unusual for a bowler to come in so early in the series. He needs to concentrate on the job at hand. Jonty Rhodes coming across and patting him on the shoulder.
Yes, he was getting ribbed a little bit by a few people in the crowd there, and I think had a little bit of a go at them. And as he turned round, missed his marker, I think. That's probably what happened.
Quite a long chase there for Jonty Rhodes. He covers a bit of territory in a day. Jonty, both running and walking. Certainly is jaunty. And he's always walking around the place, picking up the ball for the bowler, getting the bowler's hat, giving it to the umpire. He really does cover some territory in a day's play when he's in the field. That's well bowled. Mark Taylor didn't know where that one had gone once it hit the bat.
Putting a lot of effort in, Trying to get that initial breakthrough. Very important for South Africa. Not a long stint in the field, a couple of hours at most. Try and make the most of it.
A big shout from behind. Mark Taylor's not going anywhere, though. He just stands, and as far as he's concerned, he hasn't got a bat or a glove on it, suggesting maybe that it's come off the arm. Umpire Prue is not interested. It's none for 24. Michael Slater and Mark Taylor just had a chat at the end of that over, and I think Mark Taylor suggesting that the ball has suddenly started to move a little bit off the seam in that last over. Slater taking that one off the stumps. But a very good last couple of overs from Alan Donald. The last ball, a big shout for caught behind, but Mark Taylor was unperturbed.
Dead set ripper here, just coming off Mark Taylor's left shoulder, just below the shoulder. But Alan Donald just showing, making me eat my words anyway.
It's interesting talking to Mike Proctor, the coach of South Africa, and he said obviously they're disappointed that Brett Schultz is not going to get here because Brett Schultz is a fine left arm quickie. But the other reason they were disappointed was because Procky felt that he had a big effect on Alan Donald, that he really got Donald going, because Schultz is the enforcer. He's the Merv Hughes of the South African side, whereas Alan Donald just likes to get on and bowl fast. Schultz does a bit of shaking up at the other end. Makes them a good combination. Slater, as always, getting after the bowling right from the start.
Very, very strong there. Johnny Rhodes, I don't think he sleeps. He's got that much energy. Just keeps going 24 hours a day. A lovely shot there from Michael Slater. Australia none for 29.
Alan Donald has really hit the spot in the last 2 or 3 overs and bowling extremely well. Varney de Villiers just struggling a bit at the outer end, and I think he's got to get Matthews on in place of de Villiers. Edged and dropped. Darryl Cullinan at second slip, and Alan Donald is having the same sort of luck that Danny Morrison of New Zealand had. Nothing is going right for him at all, and I think that's exactly what he's saying. Gee, I've had no luck.
I'd have a little bit of a different interpretation of exactly what he said. It was something along the luck lines, but this is a beautiful delivery. Right on line, making Michael Slater play. Darryl Cullinan putting down what you should consider a catch. Would be taken 9 out of 10 times.
Beautifully bowled, and there's a shout this time from Richardson, but can't get that breakthrough, Alan Donald.
Ed Inkham was the bloke before that said he's got to learn very quickly to move the ball off the seam. The last 2 overs, he's just been bowling absolutely magnificently, Alan Donald. Moving the ball a little bit both ways, and that is a perfect leg cutter. No better. Should have hit the top of off stump. That's what it deserved to do.
One just moving back into Michael Slater. Bronx cheer there for Farney as he makes a stop. End of another very good over from Alan Donald. It's none for 32.
No wicket for 40. Australia won the toss. They've decided to bat first. Nasty little session here this evening, but so far so good for them. Taylor on 9, Slater on 26. They're in no hurry whatever. And Border decided he wanted to bat despite the fact that there was just a little bit of juice under the surface. Nicely played, right into the gap. Pitched up on just outside leg stump, and Taylor just knocking that one away square.
Won't be long before Donald comes back into the attack. He's in form, Hansie Cronje. He's batting very well. He's fielding well. He's an in-form and confident player. Just medium pace. Through the man at square leg. Cox, the off spinner there, the big man at square leg position. 3 to Slater. Didn't quite time that hook shot. Very pleased to see the South Africans back in action here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. And tomorrow should be a good crowd in. Weather fines up. We expect about 40,000 people tomorrow. And there's an edge down to third man between the first and third slips. Brings up the 50 partnership between Taylor and Slater, but a lucky edge all the way along the ground.
You can drive yourself mad as a captain when you try and pick the spot the catch is going to go to by separating the slip fieldsman, as Kepler Wessels has done there. He's got a first slip and then about a third or fourth slip, and that's the quickest way as a captain to put yourself in the loony bin. And now Kepler has decided that he'll have a first and second slip, and I think he'll find that's a better situation. The bowler, Cronje, is not happy with the field placing. He wants the man to come in the gully. He's bowling pretty tidily, Hansi Cronje.
That's a good shot. 8 runs off the over. No wicket for 55. Alan Donald is coming back into the attack from the members' end. He's certainly the quickest of the South African bowlers, and Taylor pulling out the pull shot of that last delivery. It was a beautiful shot. Cronje, 5 overs, 3 maidens, no wicket for 11. 8 runs off the last over. Donald bowling as the sun goes down here, or behind a cloud, a bit duller. 3 slips of gully, a short leg in for Donald. He's gone for the pull shot. Didn't time it at all, but Slater survives, beaten by the extra pace there. Could have gone anywhere, but at least it was an aggressive stroke.
Devon Malcolm got him with a short one at the Oval in the last Test match, where he just mistimed it, popped up in the air, and in fact Graham Gooch was the man who had to run just a short distance from the bat pad position to take the catch on that occasion. This time Slater got just a bit more on it, a bit more bat on it, and got it away from the bat pad fieldsman.
Big shout, got in, beautifully bowled. They put the man down deep, got it to come from off to leg, and short leg takes the catch.
Yes, that's well bowled, Alan Donald, and a wicket that he probably feels as though he deserved, because he's had Slater in a bit of trouble, had him drop twice, and finally gets him with an edge onto the thigh pad and straight to Gary Kirsten at bat pad. So Alan Donald gets the breakthrough that he's been seeking, and Australia losing their first wicket, that of Michael Slater, out for 32. It's 1 for 57.
Night watchman Shane Warne, a surprise move here, really. The in-form leg spinner coming in to face Alan Donald, who's flat out. Michael Slater, the batsman, out at 1 for 57. He's certainly the man at the moment in Australia, and probably world cricket is Shane Warne with his leg spinners. A very good over from Donald. He breaks through for South Africa. It's 1 for 57. And a change at the southern end. De Villiers back into the attack to Mark Taylor. It's that nicely, but well fielded by Johnny Rhodes at mid-on. Missed it short mid-wicket, but Rhodes brilliant at mid-on there. Crossed very quickly. It was well struck by Taylor, beat the short mid-wicket, but here comes Johnny Rhodes, picked up as clean as a whistle. encouragement there from the injured Rhodes at mid-on.
Play was delayed by rain, not getting underway until 5 o'clock local time, and 30 overs have to be bowled in the period.
Shane Warne on strike. It's a big opportunity here for South Africa when you get a night watchman in. The ball's still new, only 25 overs have been bowled. Close, out, yes, out for a duck, 2 out, very good bowling, and the pressure now on Australia. Who will come in now?
Yes, that's the problem you've got when you send a night watchman in and there are still 5 overs to be bowled. If the night watchman gets out, then do you send your next batsman in? It is a dangerous ploy, the night watchman. Fani de Villiers there getting Shane Warne moving a long way across, and you couldn't have any argument there with umpire Hare raising the finger. So the second wicket has fallen, the first in Test cricket for Fani de Villiers. Shane Warne out for a duck, and it's 2 for 58.
Unbelievable Melbourne. Just as the second wicket falls, Shane Warne, down comes the rain again. The umpires taking off the bails. Taylor not out, 21. David Boone yet to face a ball. As the South Africans leave, and I'll be very happy with that short session now, picking up 2 wickets late.
Quite wisely, I reckon the Australian batsmen are down in the basement area of the dressing rooms here at the MCG. You have the viewing area up the top, and they're making the umpires walk all the way off to tell them that they've got to come back out.
Yes, and this is just a little testing period for David Boone. He's a rock of Gibraltar as far as the Australian batting lineup is concerned.
As David Boone wasn't exactly striding out when the rain was coming down. Quite wisely, he was coming out to the centre slowly in the hope that the umpires would send the players to the pavilion, which is what happened. But the rain went away very quickly. 1 minute awful, next minute beautiful here in Melbourne.
And cold as David Boone takes guard by Darryl Hare at the southern end. Fani de Villiers with a test wicket under his belt. 3 sips of gully and a short leg in for David Boone. Villiers. Doesn't he drive? Gets away to a good positive start. Johnny Rhodes, the fieldsman, coming across from mid-on. Because it's Rhodes, they're only happy with 2. Brilliant fielding.
It's good chase from Jonty, and then a very accurate throw, even though he slipped as he was turning to make the throw. David Boone there, quite happy to attack the bowling of Fani de Villiers.
Taylor gets away again. That's beautifully played. Not quick enough to bowl short to Mark Taylor.
As the earlier pull that he hit was off Hansi Cronje. De Villiers is quite a bit quicker than Cronje, but he had no trouble at all dealing with that one. That's nicely hit.
It's a confidence booster for Mark Taylor. When you pull out your pull shot and get it away twice, you have to run for that one.
2 more runs added to take the score at the close of play along to 2 for 71. A setback for the Australians there, with Slater going for 32 and Warne making a duck, but Taylor and Boone hung on to the end, 30 and 4 respectively. 29 overs used up and 2 for 71. A very, very interesting 2 hours there. And the bowling figures for South Africa: Alan Donald 1 for 21. I thought he looked very good indeed. De Villiers 1 for 30, Matthews none for 6, and Cronje none for 11. If anything, the South Africans were a little bit too short. They didn't quite keep the ball up to the bat enough, but they still did very well out there with Donald and De Villiers, the wicket takers. But 2 for 71 for the Australians, and a very good day in prospect tomorrow. For the moment, from the MCG, it's good night. Welcome to the highlights of the 3rd day's play of the Australia-South Africa Test match at the MCG. The 2nd day completely washed out, and the 1st day, unfortunately, almost washed out with just 2 hours play available. And this is the scorecard as they walk onto the field for the third day. 2 for 71 the Australians, Slater out for 32 and Warne without scoring, Taylor 30 and Boone 4. And the bowling figures for the South Africans: Donald 1 for 21, de Villiers 1 for 30, Matthews no wicket for 6 and Cronje no wicket for 11. We join play now in the fourth over of the day. Alan Donald is the bowler, Mark Taylor is taking strike. Your commentators Bill Laurie and Tony Greig.
It's well bowled, and he got that away, not off the middle of the bat, but enough on it to pick up 2. Just 1, happy with the single. And the outfield is a bit slow.
Scared of Jonty. Jonty was onto that in a flash, and he will cause a few problems, I can tell you that. He's only got to be in the vicinity. You watch him go, he's like a hare, this kid. He flies away down the ground here and grabs it and looks up, and they've decided they might have a look how quickly he got that one away. So fielders like Jonty Rhodes do cause problems. A little bit of caution creeps into the running. 2 for 73.
Bit of a mess, really. Rain and cold. Fortunately today with a way to a start on time. Villiers from the southern end. Taylor hits that beautifully off the back foot. Not quite off the meat of the bat. On the ear, the fieldsman. Alan Border won the toss. Elected to bat. And Australia away to a good start. Michael Slater was the first to go. Single there to cover. That's 2 for 76. Oops, there's one that took off a bit. He's got an open stance now, David Boone. He's taking his front foot around towards the squaring umpire to open up the stance. Square on stance as far as the head's concerned. It's effective, it works for him. There certainly was a few movements there with that ball that struck him on the pads.
Donald seems to be loosening up a little bit now, getting it right. That was clearly off a thick edge. Running down towards third man there, just 1. So Donald adjusting his run slightly. And he's now also decided to get the screen moved because he wants to go around the wicket to Taylor. Now, Bill Laurie mentioned yesterday that he thought this might be a good idea.
Nicely played.
Yes, he's just nudged that one away into the gap on the onside. No problems there. 4 runs off the over. It's 2 for 80. This is Donald's 13th over, and there's no doubt that they bowled a bit too short when this innings first started. They improved after that. Here he goes now, trying to bowl an in swing into the left-hander.
Very strong off his hip. Tall man, he gets down a bit in his action, doesn't he? He's got a strong action. We'll have a look at Alan Donald's action, but when he gets to the crease, he's not all that high.
It's very comfortable, not too long a run. He leans forward quite a long way. See the shine is held there for the outswinger. Gets quite close to the stumps. Pulls that left hand in and follows through quite well there.
Fine shot. It'll go all the way. Beautifully played. Just a little bit of width. Mark Taylor Wilson, very good touch.
Let's have another look at this. It's short and it's outside off stump. Taylor loves them there, right off the meat of the bat, right into the gap behind square on the offside. Lovely timing too. This will give you an idea of Taylor's footwork forward, back a little bit, over the top of the ball, and he really did hit through that one. Lovely shot.
Cracking shot. Third man coming around may get this one. Beautifully played by Mark Taylor. Happy with 2. It's 2 for 88. Mark Taylor moves to 46, David Boone's on 5 as Michael Whitney and Ian Chappell takes up the commentary.
And it's certainly Mark Taylor in pretty good form. Getting some lovely shots off the back foot. David Boone, on the other hand, has been sedate. David Boone loves those, and he's dealt with it very comfortably. It's 2 for 92. Border won the toss a couple of days ago, decided to bat. 2 hours play on the first day, nothing the second day. Oh, and that's a good bouncer. Very good bouncer from Alan Donald. Quick and accurate.
A couple of little words muttered there from Alan Donald. Have a look at the length of this delivery. Absolutely perfect.
Another very good delivery from Alan Donald. This is a terrific comeback by Donald, and probably tells us as much as anything about his temperament, because he's been in ordinary form on this tour, but suddenly put into the test match, and it's brought the best out of him. And there's 2 classic deliveries from the quickie.
That's a real nasty ball.
He's decided to get after Alan Donald, so this could be a very, very good contest.
That is absolutely autographed David Boone. What a magnificent shot. David Boone very rarely misses. We saw him have a go at one in the last over. Really off the meat of the bat. Perfect cut shot. Raced away to the boundary. We'll see Donald just bang this in short of a length and waist high, and Boone finding that gap.
Beautiful play. Brings up the 100 for Australia. This is really good test cricket, with the bowler getting after the batsman and the batsman deciding that the best form of defence is to go on the attack. No one at mid-on. Jonty Rhodes with plenty of territory to cover there, and even he can't stop them getting back for a third. .50 to Mark Taylor, and this has been a terrific reply in this over from Taylor and Boone.
Fine hand by the Australian vice-captain Mark Taylor. Adds another 50 to his already impressive test statistics. 109 balls on 76 minutes, including 4 boundaries. Had some beautiful shots off the back foot this morning. He'd be very pleased. Seems to me that his feet are moving very well today, Mark Taylor, and when he's moving his feet well, getting in line and playing that back foot shot close into his body tight, he's in very good form.
Australians finding the gaps quite regularly in that over. It's 2 for 107. Good aggression from Alan Donald, and then in that last over, 12 runs taken from the Donald over. A terrific reply from Taylor and Boone. That's exactly what you expect at test level. You expect thrust and counter thrust.
Let's look at Mark Taylor's scoring shots. There's 4 boundaries there, and all being worked into areas all around the wicket. His 8th over this morning. Fani de Villiers only conceding 10 runs. As I said, very good foil earlier for Alan Donald. I'm sure that both de Villiers and Matthews from the other end now, who's replaced Alan Donald, will try to build up a little bit of pressure. Australian batsmen just getting away a little bit from the bowlers there. Alan Donald being a little bit expensive in his last few overs. Bit of in-swing there by De Villiers, and Mark Taylor whipping that one off his hip. As for the single, down to be a squarish fine leg.
50 partnership between Boone and Taylor, coming together when Shane Warne was out LBW. Warne sent in as a night watchman. It only lasted for 2 balls, the second wicket falling at 58. They've now taken the tally along to 2 for 108. So the Australian batsmen have won this round of the battle with Alan Donald. Donald going out of the attack now, and he's going to be replaced by Matthews. Craig Matthews coming on at the members' end.
Darryl Cullen is the man waiting for a catch at second slip. So far he's had moderate success in that field. And good morning, Simon O'Donnell.
Good morning, Richie. Great to have some cricket. Here's how the game's progressed so far. Mark Taylor in fine form, with the best timing we've seen him hit the ball with this summer. 53. David Boone, class act in Test cricket, 18.
Another example of what Simon O'Donnell was talking about. The timing and the placement has been very good this morning also. There's the slip from Jonty Rhodes. There will be some patches out there, understandably, that are slightly on the damp side. But the way this ground has dried out is nothing short of amazing. It's just the relay throw from Jonty Rhodes, but no problem for 2 Australian batsmen to take 3 runs. Look for 2 here. Comfortable.
Mark Taylor has been in fine form in this innings. There's a great ability when he looks out of touch, not timing the ball, to mentally switch himself on to survive and dig his runs, hopefully work into his innings. It's been very impressive this morning. David Boone getting that away for 2. Bit of hesitation there in running.
It's 2 for 115. Doesn't look quite as bright out there as was the case a little while ago. They did say there'd be the odd shower or 2, but we've got a way to start on time here. And before the ball gets too wet, Kepler Wessels has decided to bring Pat Simcox, the off-spinner, into the attack. Last time we saw Pat Simcox bowl here at the MCG, he spun the ball quite sharply. It's going down leg side. Enthusiastic.
Yes, the 33-year-old enthusiast there, Pat Simcox, in his 3rd test. This ball going well down the leg side.
Taylor's got that away, and for a moment, no one wanted to chase it. Well, Taylor didn't get it away. Little rueful smile there on Mark Taylor's face. 2 for 118. This is Craig Matthews. He's bowling at the left hand of Mark Taylor. Neat stroke, and that's typical of the way Taylor has pushed and timed the ball in this first session of the 3rd day.
Really be enjoying this, Mark Taylor. Adjusted the conditions very well. His timing's right. Getting the ball away, placing it between the fieldsmen. Specifically on the offside, he's been very good with his driving, his cutting between point and gully. Johnny Rhodes as energetic as ever, really charged at that ball then. Never easy judging a run to Johnny Rhodes. Look at him come in here and really attack it. Difficult man to piece a run together when you hit it anywhere near him. Not sure what he can do. His capabilities are the highest standing from the fielding area. Slide a bit more, I think, because this is another heavier shower coming across the MCG.
Well, that rain shower meant the loss of 20 minutes of play. When we rejoin, Matthews is the bowler and Taylor is taking strike.
Oh, and that was very close. Oh no, did that one go off the straight? Did it just nip back a little bit, or was Taylor just playing outside the line? Let's have another look at this.
Slightly different angle from around the wicket there for Matthews, and just enough spin on the ball to take it away from the stumps. Suddenly changed the line there, and it's probably the spin off the back foot. Mark Taylor just got a little bit of the back foot on that one after it took the inside edge, and that was enough to knock it away from the stumps.
Oh, that's beautifully bowled. That went the other way. Well, he's angled a few in at him from round the wicket, and it really is a good delivery if you can make it go the other way from that wide of the crease. Have a look at this one.
That is a good one. Well, you really do know that you're in top-class form if you nick those, because that is virtually unplayable.
Well, that's a very good over. 2 runs from it. 2 for 125. This is Simcox again, struggling to get a grip on that slightly damp ball. He'll be able to keep going all day, that's for sure. He's from Griqualand West, a team which his father also played for. Got to be tough to endure some of the weather they get in Griqualand. Patrick Leonard Simcox. Once again, 2 runs from the over, 2 for 127. This will be the last over before the lunch break. So the gully has now disappeared to backward point, just 2 steps in attacking positions. Oh, and that's bowled in. Well, he's done it. He's been looking dangerous. Boone went out forward to that one, got a little inside edge, and it ended up bowling him out. Now that should be lunch. The players will disappear off the ground. So at last, South Africa have broken this partnership, which was beginning to look really dangerous.
Well, Craig Matthews will probably think that there's a bit of justice there after almost getting a ball through Mark Taylor last over. On that occasion, the inside edge helping it onto the stumps. So he hasn't got Taylor, but he has got another danger man in David Boone. The off cutter just clipping the inside edge and then taking the top of the bails. So that'll send Craig Matthews to lunch very happy. David Boone might be pleased about the fact that he'll now be able to have a good feed.
Unfortunately, straight after lunch, rain came across the MCG and delayed play until 5:20 in the afternoon. At that point, Mark Waugh came out to face his first ball. He was partnered by Mark Taylor. Alan Donald is the bowler. Your commentators Bill Laurie and Simon O'Donnell.
Those lights on the scoreboard are shining. It is very dull here at the MCG.
He's off the mark with a red glance. It's the single. 3 for 128. Gillius to take up the attack from the southern or outer end of the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Difficulty for the fielding side is the ball will be a bit damp.
Strong point of Mark Waugh's cricket is off his pads. He's definitely improved over the last 2 or 3 years his play on off stump. His feet across, forward towards the ball, and very much his bread and butter there.
Big shout there. He half drew the bat away. No support from the captain at first slip. The bowl got excited. It was a late withdrawal from Taylor on that occasion.
A little bit of movement there from de Villiers. Getting the ball back in, straightening it to Mark Taylor. Very good judgment, passing just outside the off stump. Above stump height.
Get over, it's 3 for 129. Couple of Vessels making the change, bringing the main striker as far as pace is concerned into the attack. That's Alan Donald. And in this light, if he gets it right, he'd be very difficult, particularly to Mark Waugh, who's the new batsman in. Taylor's looked in good touch all day. Donald bowled one very good over today. He's really fired up and has bowled without luck. He's troubled all the batsmen. 3 slips and a gully in and a short leg. Slips very close together, short leg, 2 metres from the bat. Beautifully played. It's a glorious stroke.
As we said before, he loves them there. We'll go all the way here at the MCG, which isn't easy after this deluge of rain, a damp outfield, a little bit longer than usual. And that's magnificent timing for so early on in an innings. We'll give Mark Waugh enormous amount of confidence.
It wasn't a great delivery, was it? It was at his pads and he just chipped it away past short leg Kirsten. It was always going to be 4, even though the outfield is slow. It was a lot of timing, and a little bit of power there as well. 3 slips in for Alan Donald. Quite close. Catching men in a slip cordon, plus the gully. That's well played. Wide bowl there to this man, beautifully driven through the onside. 3 more to Mark Waugh. 3 for 138.
Barney de Villiers is whipping a bit of sawdust in his foot marks as he runs in. Those foot marks running in, striding in, generally start getting very gooey and soft.
Runs. It wasn't a shot really, didn't get the bat out the way, but Mark Waugh picks up 2 more runs. The forecast is for improvement in weather in Melbourne for the final 2 days of this test match. 3 for 140. Donald.
Blow me down. I reckon he bowled a bouncer then. And as Bill said, in this dark conditions, dull conditions, the umpires probably do take particular note of the short pitch deliveries from genuine pace bowlers. These umpires are going to offer the batsman the light. They're prepared to take it. Those couple of short deliveries, probably very much a swaying factor.
And all that is very sad. A lot of people here at the ground today, 15,000 of them, quite remarkable. And the score finished at 3 for 140. 2 for 71 was the starting score. Taylor is 63 not out, and Mark Waugh is 11 not out. 32 for Slater, no score for Warne, and 25 for David Boone. Just 130 minutes of play today. On the first day, 126, and absolutely none on the second day scheduled here for this Australia-South Africa test match. All very sad. And I'm afraid the game now looks just about doomed to a draw. For the moment, from the MCG at the close of play on the 3rd day, it's goodbye. Welcome to the highlights of the 4th day's play between South Africa and Australia in this test match at the MCG. And the good news was that play was able to start on time. Just 130 minutes on the 3rd day, which took the Australians up to 3 for 140. That's the way their scorecard looked at the start of the 4th. 63 to Taylor and 11 to Mark Waugh, with the men out. Slater 32, Shane Warne no score, and David Boone 25. And for South Africa, Alan Donald had bowled very well and with great pace, 1 for 54 for him. Fanny de Villiers had a wicket, and so too Craig Matthews. Well, on this fourth morning, we joined play in the second over without any addition to the score. Fanny de Villiers is the bowler, Mark Waugh is taking strike. Your commentators Bill Laurie and Tony Greig.
Beautifully played. There's two men there, forward short leg in the mid-on, and Mark Waugh finds the gap. He's a superb onside player. It's a very positive start, 3 to Mark Waugh. Delight to watch Mark Waugh. He's such a sweet timer, elegant.
Yes, this is a lovely shot through mid-wicket.
He scored 999 test runs in 1993. He's already scored 1,000 runs in a calendar year before in test level. 1989, that brings up the 1,000 runs in a year. Test level for Mark Taylor. That's a tremendous effort. 12th by an Australian. And 12 times, so Mark Taylor doing it twice. What a cricket left for Mark Taylor at test level. Knocked down, but still a single, 5 off the over. 3 for 145. Donald to continue from the members' end. A lot of talk about Alan Donald. He's bowled quite sharply, but just the 1 wicket. He's bowling his 19th over, and I guess the stop-starts don't help the bowlers either. Beautifully driven, straight down the ground. Mark Waugh starting off in great style this morning. Outfield still a fraction slow. Picks up 3 more. 3 for 148.
We're going to see Vessels having a little chat there. He's making a change round about that square leg area. He's moved the fielder back by the umpire. This is de Villiers to continue now. He's bowling to Waugh. Stephen Waugh's on fire. Not Stephen Waugh. Mark Waugh's on fire out there. And he's really decided to go for it. If anything that's up is going to go. That was just a little streaky. That brings up the 150 for Australia.
It's hard to bowl to Mark Waugh, Tony, because he's prepared to play shots on both sides of the wicket. Good tidy over. 3 for 151.
That's a view of the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Donald to continue. That's smashed away. Beautiful shot, that one by Waugh again, right at the meat of the bat. That is a short delivery outside off stump, and Waugh does punish that loose ball.
Simon O'Donnell and Richie Benaud takes up the commentary.
Here's Alan Donald.
Taylor correcting that one absolutely beautifully. And the advantage swings back the Australian way. A lovely shot.
Lovely cut and thrust out there, right through this match with Donald and the Australian batsman. He's seeking to build up an advantage. Donald has had another good session. This is Craig Matthews.
Right.
Partnership coming up between the two New South Welshmen, Mark Taylor and Mark Waugh.
Got that one away as well. He's been looking for that shortish one. Today he's played a couple right off the meat of the bat in that direction. One off Donald. And now he's gone and whacked Matthews away just behind square. Very similar fashion, right off the meat of the bat. We're going to see Pat Simcox continue with his off spinners now. Be going over the wicket to the right-handed Waugh. What a shot, straight down the ground and into the crowd. A magnificent 6 by Stephen Waugh, by Mark Waugh, straight down the ground off the meat of the bat. And this is a big ground by any standards. No problem at all carrying the boundary.
I think he decided around about here that he was going to get down the track and that Pat Simcox was going. Boy, didn't he hit it. That's good 10 rows back. Sorry, sir, you grasped that one.
Mark Taylor on 98. There it goes, and that's a magnificent 100.
Very good innings from Mark Taylor. test itself has been very difficult for everyone with all the rain delays. Mark Taylor has been in right from the moment the first ball was bowled. This is about to be the second session of play on the fourth day. Mostly cloudy, easing southwesterly to southerly winds, maximum 19, currently 16. Not up here, it's not. Nor in the spot where Ian Chappell is, sitting alongside Simon O'Donnell.
Fill in at number 6. Gary Kirsten is picked in that position for this game. And Alan Donald is going to continue from the members' end. He was bowling at this end before the lunch break and bowling pretty quickly. That's a great delivery. He's wondering where the luck is at the moment, I think, Alan Donald. That is hit.
I've seen many better pull shots than that.
3 for 259. It's a very good Yorker. And we've been told by the South African coach, Mike Proctor, that the reason why he does deliver the ball from wide on the crease is because when he gets in close, he kicks the stumps over, apparently.
As he delivers or gets any closer into the stumps, it's a pity. I think he'd be a far more effective bowler being closer into the stumps.
That's gone all around the stumps, but hasn't hit them. Three for 260. And in the commentary position now, Tony Gregg and Richie Benaud.
Thank you, Ian. And it's going to be Alan Donald to continue. He goes, oh, he's dropped him again. It's a nightmare for second slip. Daryl Cullinan has put another one down. We saw him get a little nick on one. Then he put one straight forward catch down, and that was one to the other side. Should have been caught as well. He won't be enjoying this.
Not one little bit. He won't even want to look at the replay. He should be averting his eyes from it because, well, I suppose it was half difficult. And still they are going down. There's the little head shake and the hand shake, possibly the finger shakes.
Oh, he smashed that one through the gap on the offside. It's racing away to the boundary. A very, very long boundary on that side. They'll come back for 4, will they? Yes, back comes Taylor.
I think that tells us two things. One is they're good runners between the wickets, these two, and they have run well all the way through. The second is that there could be in the Australian dressing room the thought of a declaration coming up.
That's well fielded. That went like a rocket off the meat of the bat. 3 for 274.
He had to field on his left-hand side. He's been trying to get his right hand across to take the blows. Now he's calling it the dressing room. He did pretty well in the end, but it jarred his left hand, there's no doubt about that.
Into the gap again. Matthews the bowler this time. Wall clipping that one away into that area he loves so much. In fact, all these Australians play that shot so well. Well, that partnership now worth 150. These two really are going well. So Hansi Cronje from the southern end, being clipped away by Taylor, who's now moved on to 126. Single also gives him 4,000 test runs, and he just happens to be the 12th Australian batsman to reach 4,000. And that one's gone through the slip cordon. Once again, Daryl Cullinan diving across to his right, which he has to do. Let's see if we can pick up exactly where that ball pitched. I don't think it quite carried. Oh, my goodness. I hate to say this, Mr. and Mrs. Cullinan, but the boys put another one down. Or through the gap on the offside. Once again, the ball just perhaps holding up in outfield. It's just a little slower than normal because of all the rain that's fallen here. Oh, that's got to be out. Yes, got him LBW. That one kept a bit low. The Aussies won't mind seeing that one. It may have just nipped back a little bit, but there's no doubt it kept low. Waugh was playing from the crease, and he was out. Looked to me, plumb LBW.
It's one of Craig Matthews' strengths that he can dart the ball in from outside the off stump to the right-handers. And that came back quite sharply, similar to the one where David Boone got the inside edge and the ball went onto the stumps. Well bowled, very well bowled.
Let's just watch where this hits him. It's way down there. Would have hit 2/3 up the stump, and no doubt about that one. You can even see by the appeal that they were very confident. Australia 4 for 296.
Four for 296. Alan Border, the new batsman. A magnificent ovation as he made his way to the centre of the Melbourne Cricket Ground, and Matthews picks up the valuable wicket of Mark Waugh for 84. Alan Border off the mark. A guy that mid off a little bit slack really, and Border always keen to get a single, and he was on the back foot.
Yes, it is poor cricket. When you know a man's on naught, you should be doing absolutely everything in your power to keep him on naught.
Four for 300, a very good start of the series by the Australian batsmen. Over the last 5 years, they've made some magnificent totals. The Australian top order of late has been scoring heavily against all attacks.
Jonty Rhodes is certainly a marketable commodity in South Africa.
As well, it's good to see a guy that's so quick across the ground, good pair of hands, a good strong arm. They come to light on the big Melbourne Cricket Ground as well. His chasing has been a joy to watch. He really gives 110%. It's just a shame that the one or two others have been down a bit in this inning so far. In the field, gone. Yes, beautifully bowled. Once again, Craig Matthews getting the ball as Ian Chappell said to move off the seam. Border got the edge straight through the wicketkeeper. That's very good bowling.
Yes, he's been impressive on this tour, Craig Matthews, and he could well retain his place in the side when a few of the injured bowlers come back. Good old ball bowler, and the reason for that is that he's able to move it off the seam. So Matthews gets his third wicket, and Australia are 5 for 300.
Damien Martin with a test average of 30.5. Played 6 test matches. Highest score 74 comes to the crease because Craig Matthews picked up the wicket of Captain Alan Border with a very good delivery. Well run, Jonty Rhodes onto it. Taylor didn't hit the stumps, so he had to hit the stumps that time, Jonty. The fieldsman was there, Taylor was struggling, and Jonty knows that would have been very, very close. It's 5 for 309.
Alan Donald is on now. I suspect more to have a go at Damien Martin and test him out than to have a go at Mark Taylor, who's 150. Well, that was a loosener, but it might be the last loosener he bowls. Fast bowlers have a habit of not being overjoyed at that sort of stroke.
It's amazing when that happens how quick the body warms up. Alan Donald may be a little stiff. He's had a good bit of work, especially today.
That's a cracking stroke.
Very well run three there from Mark Taylor. An extra slip going in now for Damien Martin. Short leg, 3 slips. Interesting contest this.
And that makes it a little more interesting. Very good stroke. Either his footwork and general reflex action is completely brilliant, or he had a feeling that might be short. The other thing I can tell you is that it won't have pleased Alan Donald. 5 for 322. Damien Martyn has gone on to 8. Pat Simcox, the off spinner, is on. Bale goes down and Damien Martyn goes out. We've seen that happen with Shane Warne bowling before. Ball spinning back off the bat. A lot of spin on that from Simcox. And it just got back onto what looked to be the off stump and took off the bail.
That's it, Richie. I'm not wrapping anyone else. That ball, a lot of backspin. Probably played a little too correctly, Damien Martyn. Into the ground, created the backspin a little himself. And just enough energy on that cricket ball to knock that off Bale off. A disappointed Damien Martyn leaves the MCG. Number 8. Australia 6 for 327.
Ian Healy is the new batsman. Comes out to join Mark Taylor. Taylor's on 162.
Hasn't been a lot of spin on the MCG wicket thus far. You wouldn't expect it. There hasn't been much sunshine to dry the wicket out, crack it a little bit. Just the surface for some spin.
That's very, very good cricket from Mark Taylor. They put a man out at long off where Taylor lofted Simcox last over. He's just carefully picked out the spot over long on now. It meant he had to hit against the spin, but that was beautiful footwork and very well placed. And that's not quite so good. Footwork may have been okay, but the execution wasn't. And it is T as well. Mark Taylor is out for 170. That's a splendid innings from the Australian left-hander and vice-captain. Welcome back, and this is the way the Australian card finished at the declaration. It was 7 for 342. A wonderful innings from Mark Taylor, 170. Mark Waugh, 84. And Ian Healy, the not-out batsman. Only one of them there because Taylor was out with that last ball before the declaration. 7 for 342. And the South African bowling figures. Donald bowled better than that. 30 overs, 4 maidens, 1 for 108. Fani de Villiers a wicket. 3 wickets to Craig Matthews. I thought he was impressive again today. Moved the ball off the seam. 24 overs, 5 maidens, and 3 for 68 for him. Hansie Cronje, none for 25. And Pat Simcox got some work on the ball. He spun the ball quite sharply at times. 16.5 overs, 3 maidens, and 2 for 49. We join the South African reply now with Andrew Hudson and Gary Kirsten, the batsman. Kepler Wessels has injured a knee and has decided not to bat unless it's absolutely essential. It's no wicket for 1 when McDermott comes in to bowl to Kirsten, and your commentators are Bill Laurie and Tony Greig.
Well struck, and it's through. That'll be 4, or maybe a hand to it. Slow it down, going down the hill. The outfield quite slow. Kirsten will look for 3, and he's happy with that. Fine shot. Hudson pulls and pulls well. Fine shot. Mark Taylor played that shot beautifully, and Hudson also getting into position early and hitting that well forward to square leg through mid-wicket. They're looking for 4. They're coming back, and that's good running. Excellent running by Kirsten and Hudson.
There was a 30-minute rain delay, and McDermott comes in now to bowl to Kirsten.
Oh, he's gone down now. We've seen him do this on a few occasions. He's missed his studs again. And once again, McDermott has gone skidding over the surface there.
Bit of skin off the knee and hip. Some other particular areas, but seems to have taken not too much harm from it. Crowd appreciating he's back on his feet. Hudson. There's that cut shot. Really thinks there's a chance of getting his wicket there as well.
Oh, that's got to be close, and they're all up in the air, and that's the one I was talking about, that little ball that nips back a little bit and stays down. But I think Hudson was probably around about middle and leg, probably going down the leg side, this one.
But a good decision from Terry Prue under a bit of pressure. Missing leg stump quite comfortably.
Yes, Hudson actually stays in line with a bad leg stump. Oh, he's down again. McDermott's having all sorts of problems there. This must be so frustrating for him. And have a look at those spikes there. There's quite a lot of room between that last spike and the edge, and that's the area that's causing the problem.
The second rain delay was of 22 minutes. Here's Paul Rifle now, and Gary Kirsten is taking strike.
Nice shot. It's very strong there. Put a bit of bottom hand in it off drive as well. Runs very well between the wickets. Gary Kirsten, 3 off the over, no wicket for 36. It's going to be Mark Waugh from the members' end. This is a good start by South Africa. You've been in the field for a couple of days. It's a cracking square cut. That could go all the way despite the outfield being slow. That's beautifully played.
Yes, he likes the horizontal bat shots. He's already played one very good pull shot of Craig McDermott. This is a beautiful cut shot.
Oh, short one, and that's out. Yes, he's got him. I think it's off the back. Waugh has struck. He does that so often. Gets wickets with that quicker ball that he slips in now and again. I think he was actually through the shot there. The ball hit either the back of the gloves or bat and then scooped up to Taylor.
He was going across to the leg side. Looks as though it's come off the glove. Kirsten wasn't absolutely certain where it had gone. As soon as he realised it had been taken, he was off. Needs to have struck him on the glove. He's out for 16. That's 1 for 49.
The new batsman is Hansi Cronje, just 24 he is, and he's got an average, as you can see there, of 41. He's been in good form too. And the moment that a lot of people have been waiting for, Shane Warne into the attack now. He's just received a big cheer from the crowd here, and so this is going to test Hansi Cronje and Hudson as well. Oh, what a big appeal straight away. Isn't it absolutely incredible? First delivery, bang on target.
Just got past Mark Taylor and called leg byes.
Toppy there from Shane Warne, a little bit quick, got through everybody.
That's the flipper. Not much chance of a first slipper catching those when the ball's really zipping off the pitch and the batsman's playing a full-blooded cut shot.
And once again, rain has had the last word on the day's play here at the MCG in this opening test between Australia and South Africa. 1 for 59, the South Africans. Kirsten caught Taylor Bowl Waugh for 16. Hudson 35 not out and didn't play too badly. Wasn't quite as certain against the spin, and Hansi Cronje unbeaten on 3. 1 for 59, and the Australian bowling figures. McDermott with 2 falls, had 5 overs, 1 maiden, none for 18. Rifle none for 20. Mark Waugh 1 for 10, the sole wicket taker. And the spinners, well, they looked all right there, even though the ball was greasy. Tim May 5 overs, 2 maidens, none for 5. And Shane Warne 3 overs, 1 maiden, and also no wicket for 5. So tomorrow, the final day of this match between Australia and South Africa continues at 10:50 a.m. We just hope the weather is clear. And for the moment, from the MCG, it is goodbye. Welcome to the highlights of the final day's play of this opening test between Australia and South Africa at the MCG. A mass photograph before the start of play. The two teams combining there for posterity. And a little later, the hostilities were to begin. Well, welcome to the last day, which has dawned fine and bright in Melbourne. There's a touch of irony about that, as you might imagine, because the first 4 days have been rather miserable. It did rain in Melbourne this morning, but now they promise sunshine almost unbroken throughout the day. Let's have a look now at the cards of the match. First of all, the Australians, and they made a declaration, which was 7 for 342, with Taylor 170 and Mark Waugh 84. And the South Africans, well, they started off having lost just the wicket of Gary Kirsten yesterday afternoon, and they went in at 1 for 59. Hudson 35 and Cronje 3. And the Australian bowling figures, just the 1 wicket that to Mark Waugh when he had Kirsten caught by Taylor at first slip, attempting to play a hook shot. Nice conditions, as I say, and we join play now in the 5th over. 4 runs have been added. McDermott is the bowler. Hansi Cronje is taking strike. And in the commentary box, Bill Laurie and Tony Greig.
Nice shot. Nice off drive. Very straight. Outfield a little bit quicker today. bit of Hansie Cronje. He's in good touch. He's one of the South African batsmen who's looked confident right throughout the tour.
Yes, he's a lovely driver of the ball. This is an example of a slightly over-pitched delivery.
Nicely played and well run. Border quickly onto it, hits the stumps. My word, he's great. He was side on Alan Border. He got to the ball quickly, had to skew around and hit the stumps. One stump to hit.
The batsman was about 2.5 feet over the crease. Not a bad throw, granted, but have a look at this. Like, they're getting too many ones here. Border comes in, good fielding. In comes the batsman, and there we go.
It's 1 for 76 as Simon O'Donnell and Richie Benaud takes up the commentary.
Tim May and Shane Warne forming a very good combination out there. I've seen them in action many times. Andrew Hudson is the man taking strike. This may not seem very exciting to the batsman, but it is to the people at the ground here and to television viewers, because Tim May is bowling pretty well. It's a very wry smile, if ever I've seen one from Andrew Hudson.
South Africans will know how important it is today to gain an advantage on the Australian spinners, gain a bit more knowledge on how to play them, the best way to combat their strengths.
That's one way. Once again, that was premeditated. And once again, it's gone to the boundary. It's 1 for 95.
A couple of very confident batsmen out there. Andrew Hudson, close to a half century, 49 at the moment, facing Shane Warne.
Oh, Shane.
Everyone rushing and dashing there. That could easily have gone for overthrows.
It's bowled so well, a leg spinner that's full of confidence, belief in himself at the moment.
50 for Andrew Hudson. That's good innings. He started off in a bit of a trough early on this tour. Came up with 100 up in Brisbane, and he's played very well here.
Give Shane Warne a good idea of what to expect for the rest of the day. The ball is turning. He's got the field appropriately set to assist him.
That's very well swept. Not easy to sweep the ball fine. You can roll your wrists on it and sweep it down to backward square leg to a deep position, but it's not easy to do it and get it away down towards the side screen, which is precisely what Hudson did there. The bat handle used by Andrew Hudson is multicoloured. I've seen too many multicoloured bat handles before, grey and yellow. And there's red, white and blue gloves up the top of the actual protection. Seem to inhibit their stroke play in any way. Could be all white or have 46 colours, as long as it goes to the boundary, and that now is 1 for 106.
Tim May is continuing. He's over the wicket again. Hudson's on strike at the moment. He's got 54, faced 152 balls. He's been out there for a while. 2 hours. In fact, 3 hours. And definitely a little inside edge there. Boone quite deep in that position. A very, very difficult position. You can see him just moving in a little bit and just a little squarer there. There was definitely an inside edge here. Went in front of square. Boone had no chance of getting to it. Well, this little battle is going to continue now. Warne has bowled 8 overs, no wicket for 25, just the one maiden. Cronje's on strike. Oh, and it's just shaken him up a little bit. That was his first really bad shot. Right across the line, trying to whack it away to deep mid-wicket. Wasn't quite there for it. Have another look.
Right idea to hit the full toss with the horizontal bat, but just missed it.
And Tim May just about to bowl from the Great Southern Stand end.
He's had a go at that one from outside off stump, and he's hit it well enough for it to go straight to the boundary. So he's prepared to take the initiative, Hansi Cronje, and that's very good news from South Africa's point of view.
Yes, he exudes confidence in his own ability to handle the spinners. Very quickly picked the length there and decided that it was just a matter of hitting with the spin.
137 for 1. Andrew Hudson on 61. Hansi Cronje on 54. Shane Warne continues. Goodies crowd in, around about 7,000 at a guess. He's picked up the flipper and put it away beautifully. Well, it's a rare sight this summer. Pulling the flipper through mid-wicket for 4. It's 1 for 143.
Well, that's a lovely shot. Square drive. Quite a bit of flair about this man's play. That's the 100 partnership. Hudson not interested in the 4th. It's 1 for 149. And what's going on here with Andrew Hudson? Not sure he's retiring hurt. I think he's gone to get something. No, in fact, it would appear as though he's retiring hurt, because there's a new batsman coming out. Daryl Cullinan is coming out, so that is a strange one. I didn't see anything happen, but it would appear that Andrew Hudson has retired hurt.
All happened very quickly.
Shane Warne was the man involved when that injury occurred to Hudson. Now Warne fields it and attempts to throw the stumps down, goes a bit astray and hits Hudson in the forearm and goes onto the stumps. And apparently that's when he got a bit of bruising. It was a bit stiff during the lunch break, and he decided to come out and give it a try. He's not happy with it.
Got to be hopeful that Andrew Hudson has no serious injury from that incident.
It's a good bit of fielding following a magnificent shot. Cronje played the shot pretty well. Shane Warne did extremely well to get a hand on it. Now there's been a complaint about the ball. Bowler obviously not happy with it. So Andrew Hudson now retired hurt. That partnership of 103 between Cronje and Hudson, taking the total to 152 after the first wicket fell at 49. And he's gone. First ball faced. He got a nasty one there, bouncing a little bit from McDermott. I think perhaps Cullinan playing forward to a ball that he probably should have played back to.
The nightmare continues here for poor Daryl Cullinan. He's got a beauty first up. Ball lifting, seaming away a little bit, catching the edge. Craig McDermott's very happy about it. Daryl Cullinan, I would imagine, wouldn't be too happy at all, be wondering exactly why he's playing this game of cricket. Unfortunately, you've got to take the good with the bad. It's his first duck in Test cricket. He'll remember that. He'll remember this Test match. 2 for 157.
Jonty Rhodes is the man coming to the crease now with an injured hand. Shane Warne now to Cronje. Shouts of catch it, and he's done that, and he got an inside edge on it. Very good effort there. Mark Waugh once again, or in fact it might be David Boone. David Boone there at silly mid-off, and an excellent performance there from David Boone in getting to catch that ball, the end of a very good innings from Hansi Cronje. Jumping down the track, he got an inside edge onto the pad. And David Boone, terrific diving catch. Once again, doing some magic work there in close, David Boone. So Hansi Cronje out for 71. And with South Africa losing their third wicket for 157. Kepler Wessels is the man at the crease now. And he has a top score of 179 in Test cricket. That's playing for Australia.
Got the South African captain, Kepler Wessels, facing Shane Warne. A bit of rough outside. Wessels is off stump. That's well played. Yes, this is that drive of his. Just watch him running down the pitch. See if he can pick up a limp at all. As you can see, just a bit of a limp there, right leg. I think he's struggling a bit, Kepler Wessels.
I wouldn't rate him as any more than half fit at the moment. Looks very uncomfortable.
Oh, and that's got to be out. Oh, is it out? No, it's not. Well, it must have been very, very close.
It was a big shout. The bat came down. It was a beautifully disguised delivery. It wasn't quite the flipper. I think it just got the edge, and he was very close to off stump as well. There wasn't much in it.
Ooh.
Yes, I think it's just got the inside edge. And that's a smile of relief more than anything from Jonty Rhodes. There's a good fiery session going on here. The game might be, from the result point of view, dead and buried. But there are one or two psychological battles to be fought and won or lost out there.
And vicious delivery, that one. Fizzing past Wessels' nose. Struggling a bit. That's a good shot. Much better. That is the shot that he plays so well. He actually gets his feet into a position that allows him to hit the ball on the offside. Shane Warne continuing. One's played down the ground very well. Straight down towards the fence. Come back for another run, so that's well fielded down there. It's going to be Tim May again, still tweaking that ball in his fingers, trying to get his fingers as loose as he can. Oh, and he's taken that one from just outside off stump, right off the meat of the bat. That's a good shot. And Jonty Rhodes getting down on one knee there and smashing it away. That's his first four. 3 for 199. Warne continues. So 91 overs have been bowled. That brings up the 200. This begs the question: does Warne let his spinners? Does Border let his spinners continue, or will he take that new ball? Oh, and that one ran back and very, very nearly could so easily have kicked that one back onto his stumps. Just watch this. Here we go. It spins back, goes between his legs, and oh, he could so easily have just kicked that one back with his heel. Didn't happen. Just 1 over to go now before the tea break. 92 overs have been bowled. They're scoring at a rate of 2.17 per over. In the air, and that's held up in the air, but given not out. So that is the end of that session. Just let's watch this delivery again. There it goes. Just off the pad there. And a half-hearted appeal.
We join play now in the second over after tea. It's 3 for 204. McDermott is the bowler and Jonty Rhodes is taking strike.
That's a good positive stroke, and that's a new ball do to a batsman. The field's up. It's running very slowly down the hill. And they pick up 3 runs, so the outfield's still slow, showing on the fieldsman. That was a positive late or square cut. Drives, just a single to cover. Well, the stumps hits and the ricochet. Well, there you go. Good throw. Concedes the extra run.
Just 2 slips and a gully now with rifle bowling to Kepler Wessels.
He's got onto that one. And that's his 50. He's whacked that one away behind square. They've got a man strategically placed at deep and wicket, but he hit that into the gap. So Kepler Wessels, in trying circumstances, has got himself 50, and South Africa are now 3 for 231.
Give you an idea of how much of a struggle it's been for Jonty Rhodes. That's his 12th scoring shot. And he's faced 102 balls now. So it really has been a battle for Jonty.
It's nicely played into the gap down there, and 4 more runs to Wessels. From the stump camera. Again, a little nudge down towards third man. No one down there. The outfield down there is quite quick, and that'll go for 4 as well. So 9 runs off that over. It's 3 for 240.
3 for 247. 26 to Jonty Rhodes, who's starting to play with more freedom now. 61 to Kepler Wessels. Nice shot. Jonty Rhodes is starting to play some good strokes, and it's all to do with his footwork. His footwork was awful early on, which one could understand because of his injury and the fact he's been out of the game. Needs the match practice.
The experienced Wessels has got good support from the men at the other end. Jonty Rhodes in the air and safe. Brings up the 100 partnership. Bit of luck there, maybe off the splice or even the handle, as Mark Ward dug that one in. Catch it was a cry, but it flew away. So our partnership worth 100 comes up with a lucky 2, really. It's now turned 5:30 here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, both on the scoreboard and the clock at the members' end. So we'll just see what happens after this final delivery from Mark Ward. How was he, says Mark Ward. Not out, says the umpire. We'll look at Border and the captains. No, John Kepler Wessels is walking straight to Alan Border. So that's the end of the first test match here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground.
Back at the MCG, that was a very good performance from the South Africans. This is the way their card looked at the end of their innings. 3 for 258, and that was in response to the Australians' 7 for 342. Andrew Hudson looked good before he had to retire hurt after being hit on the arm by Shane Warne. Made 64, good performance. Kirsten out for 16 yesterday. Thought the most impressive batsman was Hansie Cronje. Good footwork, good sweep shot, and he's a very strong driver of the ball. Made 71. Unfortunate for Daryl Cullinan, out for a duck after dropping a couple of catches. His confidence might just be on a downward path at the moment, but he'll come good again. And Jonty Rhodes and Kepler Wessels, an outstanding partnership there. They took the score from 157 through to 258 when stumps were drawn half an hour early for the loss of 3 wickets. Good player, Rhodes. He started off all at sea out there, and he battled his way through. In the end, he was showing a lot of confidence, driving off the back foot, and his footwork improved immeasurably towards the end. And Kepler Wessels played as we all know he can. He's very solid, very determined, and he places the ball and times it extremely well. 63 not out for him. The Australian bowlers, they worked very hard and did a good job. A wonderful middle spell from Craig McDermott, 23 overs, 5 maidens, 1 for 60 in all. Paul Rifle, none for 55. He bowled a bit better than that. Mark Waugh, 1 for 20, picked up the wicket yesterday. Tim May and Shane Warne bowled 28 and 31 overs between them, and 1 for 63 Warne and none for 58 for Tim May. So it was a good contest out there between the Australians and the South Africans today. A full day's play, and down in the presentation area now, Tony Greig is with the 2 skippers and the player of the match.
Thank you, Richie. Well, Alan Border's down here with me. First of all, that would have to be one of the most frustrating test matches of all time.
Oh, without doubt. I don't know how many games I've had, so much rain interruption. Very few, a handful of games, I suppose. But yeah, sitting around in such a big event as this one, very frustrating. Yeah.
A few things came out of that. I suppose one of them is that you've got a bit of a scrap on your hands.
Oh well, we knew that before we going into this Test series that the South Africans were very competitive and very good side, and that they proved that during our innings and again today with the bat. So we've got our work cut out for us.
The spinners had a bit of a bowl, but Craig McDermott had a few problems. Certainly, I think perhaps caused by falling over, lost his confidence a little bit. But today he seemed to get it back a bit and bowl quite quick.
Particularly in his middle spell. I thought he bowled very well there, and he was a bit ginger running in this morning with that in the back of his mind slipping over. But yeah, he's starting to really hit his straps, and the spinners had a good workout. The wicket was pretty flat, turning a little bit, but not much pace in it. So just have to wait and see what happens in Sydney.
Well, everyone's looking forward to Sydney now. What sort of wicket are you expecting up there?
Hopefully it turns. No, just a good cricket wicket and 5 full days, and let the best team win.
Yeah, Sydney will turn on some weather for you.
Yeah,
Don't
hope
worry
so.
about that.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks very much for coming
Okay.
down. Right, well, Kepler Wessels is down here. Well, he's got a bit of ice on that knee of his. Frustrating day, a test match, wasn't it?
Yes, no, it was. It's pretty difficult mentally to sort of play like that because you're never quite sure what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. So, yeah, no, it was
The
frustrating.
walking wounded the South African side. All of you are going down.
Well, the ex-players say that we've just got soft, so I suppose that's true.
So, how's your knee? You obviously looked very uncomfortable when you first arrived.
Yeah, it's not great, but you know, I just got to persevere for as long as I can
And,
see what happens.
And the rest of them, a few other injuries, but a few of them coming right as
Yeah,
well.
it seems as if Brian McMillan is progressing very well, and John T is coming right. So hopefully we can, you know, we'll hang in there.
And you got a chance to have a look at a few of the Aussie bowlers, especially the spinners.
Yeah, very impressive, very impressive. And if you find a wicket that turns a bit more, obviously it's going to be a good battle. But it's also a great challenge, and it's never easy. But our Test cricket is not meant to be. So
You played them all right today. Bad
Thanks
luck
very much.
for the weather, and
So-
good luck in Sydney.
thanks very much.
Right, Kepler Wessels there, and of course we've got this magnificent Baccarat Crystal trophy here for the man of the match, and I don't think it was too hard. Mark Taylor's the man of the match for this match. Congratulations, Mark.
Thank you,
and,
Tony.
and you've got some $1,000 here as well.
That's handy.
You've got to take the money away as well.
Thank you.
Yes, Alan just mentioned that when that pull shot gets going, you really are in good form.
Yeah,
You-
I think it's because my feet start moving a bit more. I generally have push forward first to get myself going. When I can get time to rock back on the back foot and play the push shot, I know my feet are moving well, so I can play that shot.
Yes, well, he looked really good out there. What about Donald? I mean, obviously the chaps to talk about are the opening batsmen when you're talking about fast bowlers. How quick is he? Is he, the fastest in the world, or do you think he's just up there?
He's certainly up there in a group of them. I think all of, there's a group of fast bowlers who, on their day, can be the quickest going around. He's certainly up there. He bowled quite quick in a number of his spells out there over the last few days. So he took some handling.
Yes, well, good luck up in Sydney. I hope you can repeat that magnificent batting performance in front of your home crowd.
That'd be very nice, mate. Thank
Well
you.
done in this one.
Thank you.
Righto, Rich, that's all from down here. Back to you.
Thanks, Tony. And it was a very frustrating match and a very good innings from Mark Taylor, the last man on screen there for his 170. Game coming up in Sydney, the second test match of this series. The game from January 2 to 6. Tickets at Ticketek 02 266 4800. We're looking forward to good weather and a great cricket match up there. And we really do hope that the weather looks kindly on the players and the spectators at the SCG. For the moment, from Melbourne, it's good night.